Well, hey there. Welcome back to the People Gardener podcast. Happy to have you here. Yeah, it's been a few weeks since I recorded. We've been away down at our property in Arizona and had a delightful time. Got lots of things accomplished and more clear on what our next steps are. But it was fun. As we were traveling, we were in the motorhome. So it was a 4-day trip there and a 4-day trip back with some time down there. But during those 4 days, I'm in the passenger seat. Trev did all the driving, bless his heart. We were pulling a car for the first time. When we did our big, huge trip in 22, I did drive a fair bit, but man, motorhome's 38 feet long. And then you add another 15 feet for towing a vehicle. And I'm going, that's a bit long for me. So, I don't think I'm gonna drive. But it was interesting as we were going along, lots of passes, lots of hills. And as we would go up the hills, as soon as Trev noticed that the speed really reduced, he put on his 4-way flashers. And when I say really, we're, a 70 mile an hour speed limit and we're at 35, maybe 45 miles an hour. So considerable difference. Some of these were, 4-lane highways, others were 2. So it was a big deal when you're going that much slower than the rest of the traffic. The purpose of the flashers is simply to make sure everybody coming up to you is aware that, okay, there's something a little bit different here. The person may be having problems, just might be slower. You've probably noticed a lot of the semi trucks going up and down when they are in a very slow mode, they'll put their 4-way flashers on too. So you know that there's something a little bit different. So I need to pay that extra special bit of attention. And so I got thinking as we were driving, it's like, okay, so you as the business owner, what are your 4-way flashers saying? How many 4-way flashers do you have? Do your people even know what they mean? Do they know that you have them? And do they recognize them? What are the ways that you are communicating to your team that, okay, there's something you need to be aware of. We need to pay attention here. So me and my friend AI, we have done some work and we've come up with some ideas for you. And it's just another facet to communication, whether it's nonverbal or verbal. And as I'm going to give these to you, think about words that you use with your team right now, phrases that are common to them. And when you say them, are you consistently meaning the same thing each time? So that they understand, when you say this is what he means. When you say that, this is what you mean. And they can incorporate that into how they're processing whatever work that they're doing. So the first one, that, the all hands on deck moment, that flashing light. Okay, we need everyone's focus now. That might be one. It could be, okay, heads up, people. It could be in the Zoom meeting that you move things to the focus mode in the Zoom tools so that nobody can see anybody else. All the focus is on you. And it could be every time in a Zoom meeting when you want things to, everybody to be on deck, that's what you do. Encouragement and motivation. Where's the flashers there? We're in this together. Let's push through. What's really important is that these be authentic words or phrases that you would say. I'm just throwing things out there. It might not be your language. It may not be your language pattern. You wouldn't be caught dead saying some of these things. I mean, I'm 65. If you're 33, your language is probably different than mine. Maybe not, but probably. And you need to use the language that your team is already familiar with. A new opportunity alert. Something really exciting has come into the company, and you really want to grab hold of it and take off with it. And that could be, hey, let's capitalize on this. And so when you use that phrase and you use it judiciously, and you only use it when it is an opportunity that you as the business owner absolutely want to capitalize on, then when they hear it, it's like, oh, okay, dig in. What do you need from me? So that they are all in as well. The whole course correction flasher that's going on is like, pause, we need to shift gears. We absolutely need to shift gears. Again, find the words and stick to those words each time something needs to be course corrected. It could be deadlines. And that is a simple, hey, this is time sensitive. Drop all non-essentials. All hands on deck for this particular thing. The boundary setting modes. You may be the business owner that has an open door policy, but there are times where that door needs to be shut physically as well as metaphorically, because you have to focus on something. It could be something only you can do that you have to prepare. Could be for a bank, it could be for a presentation. They need to know, what's the phrase? When you say no interruptions unless urgent, and you only say that when you absolutely must be focused yourself, then they're going to respect that. And they'll know, okay, no, door's closed, absolutely, this can wait. Not a problem. Celebrating wins. My big thing was an air horn. And everybody in the building and the neighborhood heard the air horn. And that was an indication that something exciting had happened in the sales department. There had been a milestone made. Ours was written $1 million of sales. I always used the air horn. What is your flasher for the wins that happen? One that most small business owners suck at, totally suck at, is the willingness to step away and recharge, to have some downtime. Many of them are control freaks. Many of them are distrusting their staff because they haven't got them to that raving fan society that I always talk about. Your team will have your back. So you need to help them understand when you need to be gone, when you need to recharge, and that you trust them to do their job. So you need to find that phrase. And it could be as simple as, you know what? I need to recharge. I'm gone for an hour. So they know, okay, not texting, not emailing, not phoning. Give him, her some space and they can recharge. I don't know why. I couldn't get rid of this four-way flasher thing. It happened to be on the way down and then on the way back. And I kept on saying, you know what? It's all part of you learning how to communicate with your team, learning how to help them know who you are as an individual and not being afraid to share who you are as an individual and to share what you need and how you want them to interact with you. And if you're not showing them and you're not telling them by the words that you speak, it's really difficult. And then they start guessing. And most of the time they guess wrong because most of them make an assumption, and we know what that means, right? An ass out of you and me. Having these flashers and having these consistent messages that you're sending to your people in very specific scenarios helps them to feel so much more confident and so much more comfortable when it comes to interacting with you as the business owner, because they get you. They understand where you're coming from. Come up with your own four-way flashers. I'd love to know. So, feel free to message me or on YouTube, put it down in the comments. Send me an email at rhonda@rhondadelaney.com, or, send me a message on Instagram at The People Gardener. Your team will benefit so much from you being clear on your four-way flashers, and for you to be okay with having four-way flashers, because you're not going 100 miles an hour every day, all day. You need those boundaries, those guidelines to slow you down so that you can actually work through things with the help and the collaboration of your team. That's it for this week. We'll talk to you again next week.